Well, you haven't heard from me for a while, so I'm going to give a little bit of a recap today on where we are. Right now, we're filming in October, so we've been at the exploration since September of last year, so just over a year now. And it's always been my contention on this project. We have 208,000 hectares, which is over 500,000 acres. 30% that we've covered so far in our exploration. Now, it's always been my contention that if we were to take our piece of land and overlap it with the extension of the belt to the south, which is the Cordillera del Condor, we would have potentially a whole bunch of different types of deposits and potentially some that are economic. Fruta del Norte is 100 kilometers to the south of where we're presently working. So is Mirador, which is an advanced copper porphyry project, which is meant to go into production next year. In our business, in the exploration business, there are many, many companies, and I'm sure that you're familiar with them if you're an investor in this space. Many, many companies out there that have small projects, small pieces of land, things that have been known maybe going back for even 100 years, and they hammer away at it again and again and again and again and again, and they keep hoping that they're going to hit the big one. The chances are always diminishing every time you do another drill campaign in any of these small areas because you have a very, very small area, very small target. Now, my approach to exploration has always been to maximize the piece of land that you have. And if you're in the right piece of real estate, the right piece of potentially productive real estate, geologically speaking, then you have the potential to have elephant-sized deposits if nobody has been there before. Now, I'm talking greenfields exploration as opposed to what we call brownfields. Brownfields usually means you're within a stone's throw of an existing mine or a past producer. In greenfields exploration, you're going into areas where there's been very little exploration work previously, and certainly where we are in the Cordillera de Curucu, there has been no previous exploration except for the stuff that we have back from the days of the conquistadors. So that's 400 years old. So there has been no modern mining company doing technologically sound exploration like we're doing. So what I have right here, this is what we call the Wall of Fame. This was just recently in one of our press releases. It's covered in malachite, which is this green copper mineral. This is a beautiful, beautiful specimen of a mineral called galena, which is a lead mineral. This is containing silver, and it also has this white mineral in it, barite. This is beautiful stuff. This was featured on the Vice video. This is pyrite, sericite, and silica alteration. We believe we're in the halo of a porphyry copper type deposit. And then these things, not this, of course, because this is a beautiful ammonite, Jurassic in age, that one of the geologists collected. These I'll be talking about in another video, but they're spectacular examples of what we call geyserite. So these are beautiful specimens. That's why we've got them out here in the entranceway. But follow me now, because I'm going to take you to what I call the treasure room. So here we are in the, it's labeled here, Muestras de Exposición, so kind of our showpiece samples, our reference samples. On the floor here, looks like a bit of a mess, but there's actually a pattern to this. This is a recreation of Crunchy Hill, actually on the floor. So each one of these floor tiles represents 25 meters in space on the ground, on kind of in a map view. And what they've done, the geologists have put all the rocks as they would be in nature on the terrain. So this is what we see in Crunchy Hill. And of course, we just walk over here and you'll see there is a tremendous variety of samples here that are silicified. They're full of quartz veinlets, lots and lots of what we call Gossan, iron-rich rocks. It's just absolutely beautiful stuff. It's the sort of thing that any exploration geologist would be happy to find. Now, but I'm going to show you the wall here. And message to all of our competitor companies out there, eat your heart out. This is incredible stuff. In fact, you know, in my 35 years working in this business, I have never come across a project that has such a variety of different types of ore environment, different types of mineralization, and we found all this in 13 months. It's an incredible thing. We've only covered 30% of the concessions. We already have 8 targets at Crunchy Hill, or 8 targets around Crunchy Hill, including Crunchy Hill, and numerous other targets as well, including now some copper targets. So just to look at some of this stuff, it is absolutely fabulous. And any exploration geologist would be very, very happy to have found this in the field. For instance, here's a sample of what we call calcite replacement texture. It was bladed calcite, which is a calcium carbonate mineral, and it's been entirely replaced by quartz. This is often indicative of boiling texture, and it's where you find gold and silver, epithermal gold and silver. And this actually contains a bit of silver. We've got other incredible things here. This is some massive sulfide. You can see all the pyrite running through here. This is heavier than hell. I wouldn't have wanted to be the geologist who had to carry this out of the bush, but I'm certainly glad that he did. This is some beautiful banded vein of barite, galena. There's a little bit of sphalerite, which is a zinc mineral, in here as well, and this contains silver. This is gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And you know, if you just look around, you'll see all kinds of different types of breccia, all kinds of different types of gossan, iron-rich rocks, the sorts of things that we like to key in on in our exploration. But this is very, very exciting for us. Doesn't look like much, does it? But you can see little hints of green on it. Now there's a gray mineral in here, and the gray mineral is called chalcocite. Chalcocite has got a much larger component of copper in it than the common form of ore mineral, chalcopyrite. So this piece, though it doesn't look like much, it's running about 5% copper. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's bedded. We can see it along the laminations and the bedding here. Here's some more, and this has actually been altered to malachite and azurite, which are both copper carbonate minerals. But this is a sediment again. Now, this is very important stuff because it's at surface and it's running pretty high grade. If we were to find this to be extensive, potentially it could be a very, very lucrative deposit. Now, right now, it's just a prospect. We still have a lot of work to do. Very, very early days, but this is very, very good sign right now. So we just love it. And look at this. It goes on and on and on and on, all the way down the wall here. Yowie, which is one of my favorite places. We've got geyserites through there. Beautiful, beautiful quartz textures, chalcedonic quartz in here, and it's running high in arsenic, antimony, a bit of mercury, a bit of silver. Classic environment for epithermal gold, not at the surface, but down below at depth. This is what we call a sinter. It's a typical kind of, you can see the banding of the chalcedony in here. It's gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. This is exactly what the exploration geologist, anyone, wants to find, not just here in Ecuador, but in other places like the Southwest US. Classic textures, and I can go on and on and on. Down here, more samples from Yowie, and we've got more replacement of calcite by silica. Again, a very, very good sign of an ore-forming environment for epithermal mineralization. gold, silver. So what we have in here, and throughout down this wall here, we have lead, zinc, silver. We have sedimentary hosted copper, probably a chalcocite blanket around a porphyry. We have porphyry style copper mineralization. We have epithermal style mineralization. It's like an embarrassment of riches. And this has all come from 13 months of activity and 30% of the property. As I said before, our competitors eat your heart out because I've never seen anything like this. This is really, really quite exceptional, and it's onward and upward. This is only the thin edge of the wedge here, and we will have different projects at different stages, different levels. There's going to be things that are more advanced, things that are just being found, just being discovered, but our intention is to get into anything that has merit and scout drill it. Thank you very much.